Hello and welcome. My name's Steve Beckles of Bussier, the speaker with the orange tie. And guys, welcome to the Orange Room. How dramatic was that? I'll tell you what, these videos, they're going to get more dramatic as they go on. Guys, welcome. Those that don't know anything about me, my name's Steve Beckles of Bussier. I'm a motivational speaker. I go to schools, colleges and universities around the UK, Europe and in the States. What do I talk about? I talk about belief systems and overcoming negative beliefs. I do a lot of motivational speaking and absolutely love it. I deliver soft skills training as well in companies around the UK. So that's my passion. But what is this all about? Now, guys, I've been delivering a series of these since the lockdown. And I've been loving it and been given tips and techniques covering different topics. I spoke about the brain, setting goals, gaining confidence, etc., etc. So I love it. It's a passion of mine. And the whole idea is to get people to not just get through all of this, but learn from it. So what's this all about? Now, I'm a man that always brings my props to help my talks along and to keep them half interesting. Now, you would have noticed I have a bin here on my desk. Now, this is not the way I normally do things. But if you'd have read my strap line, you would have seen the reason why. Negative people can be a challenge, but it can be helped by using the trash. Good stuff. So what does that all mean? I chose that because trash and negative people. Now, this is not a negative video. I always want to be positive, but I do feel there is a lot of negativity in people and rightly so to a certain point. And a lot of us are getting it from other people where this negative talk is sometimes quite all consuming. So what I want to do is kind of give you some tips using the word trash, TRASH, so there's 5 tips to help you to overcome negative talk. Now, you might have negative talk within yourself, but generally, when you're coming across certain people you know are always negative, okay? Now, this is not so much linked with the whole kind of lockdown. These are people you just know are always negative and how you can deal with them. So let's just move this out of the way and let's get going. So first of all, guys, let's take T. T is for, obviously, trash, but also T is for take time to acknowledge. What do I mean by that? When someone does come to you who is negative, I think it's important, especially if they're a friend. Sometimes they're relatives, partners maybe. It's important to acknowledge them. Why? Because often they're in quite a bad place. And acknowledging them does help. However, you don't have to endorse them. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you don't have to endorse their point of view. You can acknowledge it, but endorse it. What was it that Dr. Wayne Dyer said? He said, have an open mind to everything, but an attached mind to nothing. Okay, so very, very important. Have the open mind to listen, but you don't have to take it on board. Now, one of the things I often say, if a negative person is kind of doing all the negative stuff and they say something I don't agree with, this is what I often say. So they'll be talking away and they say, oh, and that John, he's so rubbish at using that equipment. I'd pause them. I said, John's rubbish at using the equipment. Now, often that's enough to just catch a negative person to say, well, he's not rubbish. He's just not very good at it. So then you say, oh, so he's not totally rubbish. There are kind of good things about what he does. What are you trying to do? You're trying to just at least catch that negative person from being too negative, if that makes sense, and grabbing the positive, as much as you can, from that conversation you're having with them. So acknowledge it, but don't endorse it. Moving on from T to R. Realize that negative people are hungry. Let me explain what I mean. You're not a chef or anything, but what I'm saying is that you don't need to feed them because they are hungry. What are they hungry for? Negativity. And when they have negativity, they feel fulfilled. And often talking to you often fulfills them with negativity. So this is what you need to do. As soon as you sense that negativity, you don't feed it. You listen, but you don't feed it. So it's very similar to tip number, take time to acknowledge, but don't feed it. All right, so realize that they are hungry. And the reason I'm having a conversation with you is they need to be fed with negativity from you. Okay. Next one is A. Align yourself with sympathy. Be sympathetic. So as I said, this isn't a negative video by any stretch of imagination, but being sympathetic is important. All right. So I want you to be positive. Understand as much as you can, but again, remember to keep that distance, but be sympathetic because, again, we all struggle and we all do need people to talk to. A lot of time, negative people just need to offload. They don't want solutions a lot of the time. They just want to offload. Please bear that in mind. Next one is S, and it's very important, is stay armoured up. It's like going into battle, isn't it? Like into a war. But sometimes it is. If you go into battle and you are not armoured up, yeah, you have got nothing to protect you, you're going to die. Sounds a bit serious now, but you know what I mean? You will be attacked and hurt. You've got to make sure you have your armour up. So just imagine you've got this kind of like bulletproof vest or whatever. You've got to make sure you've got it. Why? What I mean by that is because if you don't, comments they make might weaken you. How many times in a conversation with somebody you felt really good until they said something to you and all of a sudden you felt bad? Armoured up, in other words, feel positive about yourself at that point. You might be going through a low point in your particular life. Having a conversation with a negative person is not the best thing. You can actually say to them, look, I'm not in a good place either actually. This really isn't a good time to talk. Is it okay we can maybe catch up later on? Find a time you can talk. Maybe the mornings. Maybe morning's not good. Maybe the evenings. Find a good time where you can talk to that negative person, okay? Last one, which is very important, is have an agenda. In other words, set boundaries before you speak. So say, Mick, let's have a chat. I've only got half an hour, yeah? And I'm going to listen to you, mate, but I'm not going to express my opinion because I just really want to hear what you've got to say because really this is about you, not about me. Can you see what you've done there? What you've done, you've set the boundaries in Mick's mind to know, A, he's only got half an hour, and B, what you're going to talk about, what he's going to talk about, you're not going to express opinion on. I think this is important because what you don't want to do is get held up in a negative person's mindset. A lot of things I often say is that when they do say things like, I think it's going to R, I think when they talk about realising they want to stay hungry, is say things like, well, it's interesting you say that, what are you going to do about it? I think you should do something about that. So what am I doing? I'm actually trying to counteract the negativity of a positive thing. In other words, say to them, do something about it. This is important because unfortunately, and I am kind of generalising, but most negative people want to stay negative and they don't want to come out of where they are. And you trying to change a negative person, I think will just wear you down. Often they can learn by your actions, which is positive actions hopefully, to become positive themselves. Guys, that was trash. Here we go, trash. Yeah. I hope you found it useful. Thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate you watching my videos and putting your comments, etc. By all means, put the comments on there, put the likes on there. Really appreciate it. Guys, at the moment, as you know, I'm doing my online program, orangeonlinelearning.com. Please visit there to find out more about what I'm doing. I'm also involved in coaching as well. Thank you for a couple of messages I had around coaching. I am now coaching, so guys, please, by all means, contact me just for a free chat on the phone. If there's anything you want to talk about, let's see if maybe we can work together. Guys, as I always say, it's a challenge for all of us, and it's not just getting through this, it's getting from this and trying to learn as much as we can. Thank you again for your time and have a great day. Thanks so much indeed and take care.